right hand, repeat after me. I, Sandra Hollingsworth,
I, Sandra Hollingsworth,
affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the laws of the State of Colorado,
and the laws of the State of Colorado,
and will faithfully perform the duties
and will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of Gilpin County Commissioner, District 3,
of the office of Gilpin County Commissioner, District 3,
upon which I am about to enter,
upon which I am about to enter,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you all, and we'll have a reception now. Thank you for coming, and you can help yourselves to the work break.
Thank you. You have to run off, right?
Yeah, I do. Thank you for being able to do this all earlier for me.
Yeah.
This is
Good morning. We'll now call the regular meeting of the Gilpin County Board of County Commissioners to order. Today is January 14th, 2025, and the time is 9 a.m. Agenda review, are there any things to review? Do you have any changes to the agenda?
Yeah, I think you're. Am I supposed to announce those or?
No, I don't believe, do you have any? I don't believe there are any changes to the agenda.
No.
Okay, and then we'll go on to conflict of interest. Have the card on.
So I am confirming that the county attorney is joining virtually. I do not see him listed as the attendees. I just texted Mr. Messenger.
I believe we can have the county manager ask if we have any conflicts of interest.
Sure, happy to do so. With any item on the agenda, do any commissioners have any conflict of interest that they would like to disclose prior to the meeting?
I have none.
I have none.
I have none.
You?
And go on to our first order of business, resolution 25004, adopting the list of official appointments for 2025 and county manager rears.
Thank you, commissioners. So before you is a updated list on appointments. The first list for Gilpin County, a list of official appointments. This is primarily staff as well as the bank, newspaper of record, posting location, and you can see the list as it was as the board appointed in 2024. So we're asking for what the board's direction is for 2025, since this is the first meeting of the year.
I want to start with the official appointments of our Board of County Commissioners chair.
I think that's typical.
Okay, and then I'll stand open for nominations. I'd like to nominate Commissioner Hollingsworth for the Chair Board of County Commissioners for 2025.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
aye.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hollingsworth.
I'm going to take it from here then, or do you want to continue this list?
So we can go ahead and do the switch.
Switch.
I'm going to switch seats. We do this symbolically, sort of.
Did a good job.
Thank you. I'm honored to be the chair this year. Next on our agenda, the chair also serves as the Board of Human Services. And we also need to elect a chair pro tem. Do I have any nominations for the chair pro tem?
Nominate Susan for Chair Pro Tem. Commissioner Berman.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor of Susan Berman being the chair pro tem?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 3-0. And then back to the chair of the Board of Human Services. That follows with the chair board. So we can just go ahead and go down the list and pass them all together in one motion. So next is the commissioner to convey real property. That usually follows with the chair. Would we like to continue that?
Yes, that's fine.
Is that all okay, Commissioner Aiken? The commissioner to convey real property follows with the chair. So that would be me. Are you okay with that?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And then next we have the Board of Commissioners sits as various boards throughout our agendas and for the meetings. One of them is the Board of Adjustment. The other is the Local Liquor Licensing Authority. Then there's the Board of Equalization. And that includes an annual meeting around the 1st of August. And then also the Board of Health, which meets quarterly but can meet in between as needed. And so is there a motion to go ahead and adopt those all as the full board?
Some
Second.
Right? It's been moved and seconded to adopt just as spoken. All of the various boards will be as all in favor of that.
Aye.
Next, we have more appointments to be made. I'm looking at the sheet that has the county manager at the top. Are you all on that same page? Okay. So we can go through this list one by one. We can adopt it all at one time. What's your preference? Would you like to go through each item and then do one motion for the whole thing or a motion
Yeah.
for each one? Okay,
Yeah, let's just do
Okay.
one motion for all of them. Because I don't
Okay.
believe there are changes.
right. So currently we have County Manager Ray Rears. County Attorney is Fairfield and Woods. Representing us would be Todd Messenger, would be our appointed county attorney with Jack Rutzel as his alternate. The administrative assistant to the board, Kimberly Kaufman. Our budget officer, Joe Allaire. Our chief building official is Mike Thiessen and Kyle Harag. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Emergency manager is still Kevin Armstrong. Hopefully that will change before too long. And then we'll revisit this appointments list. The road supervisor, Michael Dubrava. The depository banks for Gilpin County, Wells Fargo, Colorado Trust General, and Colorado Trust. The newspaper of record. I know that we have 2 applications or 2 proposals for that. Would we like to consider that one separately? Right now it's the Mountaineer. That's been the paper of record.
Yes, we can make that the exception.
Okay. The location of public meetings notices, the old courthouse here on the front of the building in the bulletin board, and then on the Gilpin County website. The staff that are authorized to use facsimile signatures for resolutions are Joe Allaire, our finance director, and Kimberly Kaufman, our administrative assistant. The human services director is Janie Barker. And the Veterans Services Officer is Leon Poole. So just without the newspaper of record, I would entertain a motion to adopt the rest of the list in one motion.
I move that we adopt the official appointments with the exception of the newspaper record to be discussed separately.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Now, on the newspaper of record, I know that in the past we've allowed some time for the papers to speak if they wish. Would we like to do that again? We do have a written proposal from each newspaper that we've all had the opportunity to review.
Yes, we have representatives from both papers available.
The weekly register call is online.
Okay. Well, why don't we invite them both to speak if they would like? It's optional. Would the weekly register like to go first?
We'll ask them to unmute.
All right. And for those,
Hi, morning, and congratulations, Sandy and Jeff, on your election and swearing in. I believe you have Bob's letter. It states very clearly the issues and what needs to be done. And I'm going to reserve the rest of my time to respond to anything that needs to be responded to that may come up. Oh, and by the way, Sandy, thank you for being the only one to acknowledge that I sent Bob's letter. If only that had happened earlier.
you're welcome. And I missed did you state your name? I assume this is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sandy. This is Becky Osterwald,
I
managing editor.
assume so. Thank you. That's so the audience knows who's speaking.
That's okay. Record 2.
Yes, I have a question. I believe we did receive the letter, but there was no information as far as rates.
It's we charge the standard state rates. 64 cents for the first run and 39 for the second. You didn't put it out for bid, so I didn't include that in the letter.
And also.
If you're going to put it out for, that's a whole different story.
Okay, yeah, well, for an informational, usually as a business, you do include those. Also, I just had questions as far as, have there been any changes or improvements since the county got last chance, the weekly register call?
Oh, there's been massive changes. There's been massive changes how things are done. There's been so many changes, I can't even list them. And yeah.
Becky, we do have your letter. Did you want to speak any more about what the weekly register call offers that might be different than the other proposal?
Like I said, Sandy, we have changed things, the entire process of the way we do things. Then, whenever it was, 2 years ago, like massive changes. But the only thing, I mean, if you return the legals to where they should be, back to Gilpin County, the only thing I'm going to request is we have one person, one central person who sends the legals, receives the proof, so both sides are accountable, which is the way it should be.
All right, we noted that suggestion. Anything else, Becky, or does anybody else have a question?
I do, because I've kept an eye on both papers and I've noticed, how many school districts are in the county, Becky?
How many school districts?
Yes.
There's Gilpin. We don't do Boulder.
Okay, so even though we have children from Mid to North County that attend another school district, you only report on,
Tell you the truth, Susan, I never thought about pursuing it. I will now. Absolutely.
so you've never thought about representing 2/3 of our families?
No, we have not thought about it. But
Yeah.
like I said, we will pursue it now.
And as far as activities, we have, you know, residents that live down Gilpin Canyon and that, and I've never seen articles or anything regarding those activities and.
Well, being basically a two-person operation, since Bob has been sick, it's kind of hard to fill in some of those gaps. It really is.
So you're two people running the newspaper.
There's two people covering stories, Don Ireland and myself. I mean, if they got some news, we're willing to print it. But someone's going to have to get it to us.
Commissioner Aiken, do you have any questions for Becky?
No, I think I was going to ask about fact checking and the register call. Do you run stories and have them fact checked at all? Concerning
What do you mean
historical,
fact?
considering historical facts and
We do.
there was a
I do all the
story.
facts.
Well, there was a story about Doc Holliday having practiced dentistry in Central City, which has never been established in any biography or anything
Was
I've ever read.
That
It
was in
was-
Looking Back, wasn't it?
Well, I'm
I
just
vaguely
wondering.
remember that.
Yeah. So
That comes from back issues. How am I going to
Yeah.
fact check a back issue?
I mean, before you printed it, did anybody want to check on whether he actually was in this town, which I don't believe he ever was, or he ran
But
this big.
all
It was
all
Forrest
Looking
Whitman's.
Back is, Jeff, is all it is what was in the paper in that year or that issue. That's all that is.
Yeah. Okay. It just seemed kind of a fairy tale to me.
So Becky, Becky,
As,
sorry.
what was that, Sandy?
I think there's a lag in our audio. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just wondering if you wanted to add anything else before we move on.
No, I will reserve if I need to respond to anything else. I would dare someone else to beat our 93% circulation rate in Gilpin County.
Yeah, there won't be an opportunity to respond to anything during this meeting. Also, I'm giving you time now. If there's anything else you want to highlight about the weekly register?
Well, I mean, we've been here for 162 years. We've been the newspaper of record for 160 of those years. The law says if, and I'm going to stress the word if, there is no paper, then you can go to a neighboring county. But because we're already here, have our postal permit, you can't go to a neighboring county. It's that simple.
Thank you. I know that that's been long discussed in depth in the past years. And our attorney has weighed in that both papers are eligible
Wrong.
according to the statutes.
You're wrong. Your attorney is wrong. He does not look at the law and he doesn't look at the postal regulations. It's very simple. He has not looked at the law. Nor would he discuss it with me when I asked him to explain his position. as Bob says in his letter.
All right, I hear your thought that the attorney didn't look at the law. It's kind of a
And
puzzling
the
statement,
postal
but
regulation. And the postal regulations.
all right. Becky, do you have anything new to add? I know
Not at
that,
this time. I
okay.
reserve time.
Yeah, like I said, this is your opportunity to speak now. There won't be another one in this meeting. Anything else you'd like to add?
Not at this time.
All right, thank you, Becky. Now moving on, if we have a representative from the Mountaineer that would like to speak.
Before you speak, I heard that Commissioner Bruman's mic may not be on. If you could just double check your mic, Commissioner Bruman. Okay.
Sure. Here, but she does have a green light.
So
Can they not hear online or?
someone texted me saying they could not hear Commissioner Bruman. Maybe we can try the attorney's mic setup.
Yeah.
Since it's not being used.
That would be unusual. You have a voice that projects.
Right.
We do have.
Pardon? Yeah, the lights on. You have to put it really close.
You made the switch.
Okay.
All right.
Good morning, Commissioners. Barbara Hart with the Mountaineer. I just wanted to reiterate that I have included my letter with all of the information, including our publication rates. If you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them. As far as the other information shared, we believe that the Mountaineer does qualify as a newspaper of record, and it has been determined that we qualify as a newspaper of record. And we will continue to work with the judge currently reviewing that information in Gilpin County as well.
Commissioners, do you have any questions for Barbara?
Barbara, if you could just state for us how much of the county or what all do you cover, please?
We cover everything in Gilpin County, the schools, the events, the government of Gilpin County, Blackhawk Central City, Coal Creek Canyon, Pine Cliff, Rollinsville, the restaurants, the venues, all of the music happening out here. We have 12 paid contributors in Gilpin County. We are a staff of 41 contributors each month. So we cover everything we find out about ahead of time.
And how large or how many people do you have on staff for your paper?
41,
41?
correct. Not all paid. We have some volunteers.
Commissioner Aiken, do you have any questions?
No, I just, it says that you have a, office on Lawrence Street, rented office,
An office on,
Lawrence Street in Central City.
correct. We use the upstairs space. We have a lease with Three Brothers LLC for the upstairs space above Lanyap Cafe. We actually have the lease on the place and we sublease to them.
And in addition, in your letter, you've had been publishing in Gilpin County since 1977.
We have covered all of the Peak to Peak region since 1977.
All right. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
do you have anything else? No? All right, now that we've had an opportunity to hear from each paper and read the proposals, is there any further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion for the paper of record for 2025.
I move to keep the Mountaineer as the paper record for
I'll
Gilpin
second,
County.
I'll second the motion.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to retain the Mountaineer as the paper of record for 2025. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes 3-0, and that completes this stage of the appointments list. Thank you both for your proposals and speaking with us. Next, we have another list. A lot of things to appoint this first meeting. Next, we have a list of, these are boards and commissions that commissioners and staff serve on. And these are ones that are partner agencies. Some of them ask that it be a commissioner specifically that serves. And others just ask that there be a representative on behalf of Gilpin County. At the top of the list, we have our Colorado Counties Incorporated. The county belongs to two groups that are lobbyists and representatives on legislation specifically. And so we do participate in both of those and pay dues for those. And those help us have a voice with our legislative body about legislation. And so we have a real eye and focus on things that affect Gilpin County or our immediate region. And so there are subcommittees. And so typically we serve on subcommittees, and the person on the subcommittee is the person entrusted with the vote on behalf of the board. At times, we will discuss certain pieces of legislation in these meetings to take a position and vote on that. At other times, the person appointed to that committee is well-versed in the discussions of the subcommittees. And so that's why they are entrusted to vote in those meetings on behalf of the board. And so on CCI, the Colorado Counties Incorporated, there are 9 subcommittees. And so we could divide it up that there be 3 per commissioner, but I'd like to hear from you, your interests on which of the subcommittees you'd like to serve on. And then we'll select a representative for each subcommittee. And then that will be clear both for ourselves and the public, but also for CCI, that they know who our appointed representative is. So I'll start with Commissioner Berumen because she's been serving on a number of committees, and maybe she's learned that they still are her peak interests, and maybe she'll say that she's ready to do something different.
Yeah, I've been serving the 3 IB steering committees I'd like to participate with would be continue on with Health and Human Services. Also, I've kept up, even though I wasn't appointed, but with General Government and the Taxation and Finance committees. So those would be the 3 I'm interested in.
Okay. And Commissioner Aiken, I know that County Manager Rears and Commissioner Berumen serving as chair has spent time. I have a little bit trying to explain the different committees. And I know that you went to an orientation with CCI and will attend the full training this week. Do you have a feel for which subcommittees interest you, if any?
Yeah, I like the tourism resorts, the TREAD. I'd be interested in that. Transportation communications. And we're just going down to here, right? Here's some over here.
Yeah, these here.
Yeah, okay. maybe the general government where he was on.
Is that the one you just said?
Yes.
It was Susan.
She expressed an interest. You
Is this
okay
one
with
there?
that? Right.
Oh, she was on taxation and finance. Okay. What about the general government one there?
Yes, Commissioner Berman expressed
Okay.
interest in general government, tax and finance, and health and human services.
I could do, like to do agriculture, wildlife.
That is actually an interesting one.
What's that?
That is an interesting one, actually. Yeah. All right. Well, if we do that, then I'd continue on public lands, land use and natural resources, and justice and public safety. Are you two okay with that?
I think that's fine.
All right. And then next, we need to appoint a steering committee voting proxy in case one of us isn't able to attend a meeting and vote. And so this person has been our county manager, Ray Rears. We've never had to use them, but it's good to have it all appointed. And they actually ask us to do that. Are you both okay with continuing with Ray?
Yeah, I'm fine with continuing on with using county manager Rears.
Are you okay with that, Commissioner?
Yeah.
All right. And then all of us will serve together as a board on the Mountain District. Next on this list is our second county commissioners group that we belong to. This is Counties and Commissioners Acting Together, CCAT. Like I mentioned, we pay dues, we attend the meetings, and this gives us a bridge to our legislative body to express opinions and for or against proposed legislation that has impacts to our county and people in the state. So this one has 5 subcommittees, so we won't be dividing it up equally, but I'm going to again turn to Commissioner Bruman and ask her the committee she's interested in.
I'd like to continue on with the Public Health Human Services, because that does coincide with the steering committee with CCI as well as housing.
And Commissioner Aiken, is there a committee or two that interest you?
And transportation.
Any others?
Looking at the communities for climate action.
Oh, that'll be next on our agenda.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. I think transportation for now. I think you guys want some of the other ones. So.
All right, so that would leave the remaining 2 for me, natural resources and wildlife and fiscal reform. And I will note that Commissioner Bruman has also been attending the fiscal reform meetings. There's nothing that precludes us from attending more than the ones we're appointed to, but this gives clarity about who's entrusted with the vote on behalf of the board in the meetings. We move on? Okay. Next on our list, we have Colorado Communities for Climate Action, known as CC4CA. They have monthly meetings and other meetings as well, with a real focus on our climate change, energy, and building codes that will promote energy savings, transportation, greenhouse gases, a number of topics like that that are very specific to climate. Is one of you interested in serving on that committee? You expressed interest, Commissioner Aiken?
What is that?
The CC4CA, the next one.
And I have been attending, well, occasionally, some of their webinars and online meetings. I found at times they have early morning, the board meetings on Fridays, and that has at times coincided with other meetings that I've had. So just so you're aware, we are not a voting member, but we do have access to attending
Okay, I could do that.
if you wanted to do
Okay.
that.
And like Commissioner Bruman mentioned, even though the county is on a 4-day work week for most of our departments, the commissioners are not. And so we do end up having a lot of meetings on different days of the week, including Friday. And so sometimes you might miss a CCI or CCAP meeting to attend the CC4CA, but it all works out in the end.
Okay.
All right. Next, we have the Gateway to the Rockies Opioid Council. We do need to appoint someone on the executive committee, which I have been serving in that role, and an alternate. They're asking for a named alternate this year.
I'd be interested in alternate.
Right. So Commissioner Aiken is offering to be the alternate. Are you okay if I continue?
That's fine, yes.
Okay. Sometimes when we've been on the committees for a number of years, we have all that knowledge, and so it's makes sense to continue forward, but I would like to check in on interests. Okay, so we have myself as the executive committee member and Commissioner Aiken as the alternate. And next we have NOCO Places. This is the group that we belong to. That's 6 counties and 3 federal and state land managers. And we meet both monthly in an executive committee and also a partners meeting, which has over 70 members. And there are people that work in land management, recreation, or conservation. And so there's been a lot of progress made on partnering together to have a regional approach to address the overuse of our public lands, but also to allow a balance between access with conservation. And I have been on the executive committee on that, and I'd be happy to continue if that's agreeable to both of you.
Yeah.
That's fine. And then you were also elected to
Oh, yes.
a board
yes,
position, so
I should have
that'll
mentioned that.
follow.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, the co-chair of the board for now, for this year. Oops. Of course, I forgot about that. Next on our list, we have the Upper Clear Creek Watershed Association. This meets monthly. And so we're part of 2 watersheds, Gilpin County is. We're almost half in the Clear Creek watershed and half in the Boulder watershed. And so this group focuses on the Clear Creek watershed area, which includes near the school and then into Clear Creek over there. But they have been doing some cleanup projects, mitigation for fire protection, and everything that they do has an eye for protecting our water and our watersheds. And they work cooperatively with dozens of groups in the area as well. And I know they work with the sheriff's office. So we had appointed our extension agent, but I wanted to see if you had an interest in this particular group serving on that. Do either of you, Commissioner
Yeah.
Britton?
Watershed. Yeah.
The watershed,
Did you want
Commissioner
to-
Aiken? Are you agreeable to that?
yes, that's fine.
Great. I know that I had asked Jennifer Cook if she would forego that, and she said she'll still participate in it because the extension does a lot of partnering with the watershed on projects and information sharing. Next, we have the Clear Creek Watershed Forest Health Partnership. And I was just thinking, I think I just described, they work together, these 2 groups do. And so this is the one that Jennifer has been more active on. that meets monthly, and I've attended meetings periodically. And they do appreciate having a commissioner attend to have a even higher level of input. Are either of you interested in this watershed group?
Yeah, I am.
Are you agreeable to having?
Yes, that's fine.
All right. All right, so we'll appoint Commissioner Aiken to that one. And that's the one that Jennifer will continue to participate in. And I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's that one that she has been doing a lot of projects and information with. But I know she sometimes can't make the meeting, and that's usually when she'll nudge me to attend in her stead. Very interesting work. Next, we have the Clear Creek Economic Development Corporation. And this one says not appointed by the BOCC.
So this is informational. This is the board, the Clear Creek Economic Development Corporation appointed me as one of the board of directors. At their meeting in December, they elected me as their treasurer for 25. So there's no action from the board. This is informational, but there is an additional action, a request for the board for the resilience team. If you recall, in December, there was a joint resolution for who was going to be the designee for this resilience team. And so we do need to know who that is who the board would like to be appointed for that. Clear Creek County appointed their county manager. Speaking with the president of the EDC, the request is the commissioner, the manager, or a community development director level, someone at the policy level. So they're asking for who the county would appoint to this resilience team.
Right, so this will be listed separately in our list.
We're going to have to add that in below this as a
It
separate.
could just be a addition right under it.
Correct.
And I know that Commissioner Bruman had expressed interest in it in our previous meeting.
Yes, I am interested in that. And I'm also, because I've attended meetings, I'm also currently active on their loan committee as well.
Loan committee. Are you agreeable to that, Commissioner Aiken?
Yeah.
Yes, Susan. Right, thank you.
And it should be noted, a clarification, it says one county representative. The board, the Clear Creek Economic Development Corporation Board did vote to change the bylaws. And so now there is not just one Gilpin County representative. Now anyone who lives or has a business in Gilpin County could join this board in the future. So we'll remove that remark as well, since that's been changed.
All right, and will that be something that might be advertised in the future to solicit? Because it'd be great to have a resident or business owner or a resident who is a business owner.
So they are currently working on doing their annual meeting like last year.
Right.
I believe they've reserved the Teller House, so it's going to be in Gilpin County, Central City for this year. And that will be a great opportunity to solicit more business interest in Gilpin County on the board.
Yeah, and I believe the dates on that will be the February 13th and 14th.
I would-
And it will be at the Teller House.
Fabulous. Thank you. Next on the list is the Gilpin Ambulance Authority. And currently we have Buddy Schmaltz, Ray Rears, and Susan Bruman, Commissioner Bruman as alternate. Do you have thoughts on this composition of people?
Yes, I had spoken with Buddy Schmaltz. He is interested in continuing on his appointment with the GAA. And I am as well. I know we had talked, or maybe I could request to be moved up as serving on the board, and then we appoint another alternate.
Could that be County Manager Rears if he's interested as the alternate?
Happy to serve in any capacity.
Are you okay with that, Commissioner Aiken? All right. Okay, we'll do that as stated. Next, we have the Jefferson Center. This is our mental health provider. They provide mental health services through the human services offices, crisis, in the jail, in the school. So they have different practitioners that serve throughout our county. They also offer virtual sessions as well for the public. I wanted to say that I've been on this board and I'm happy to continue if you are favorable. There is a note here that you were given just today from Chad Holzman. Unfortunately, he's not able to continue for a variety of reasons, and his term ended. So he's just going to step down as his term has ended. So what that means is that we'll be posting an opening to the public, and this position will be shared between Clear Creek County and Gilpin County, and it's a little disjointed in how we appoint the person, but the reason there's a shared one is that it was decided years ago that per population, that Jefferson Center would have 3 representatives appointed by their board, and Clear Creek and Gilpin will share one. So I've been communicating with Clear Creek and we'll be posting it to the public. So if you know anyone out there that has background or interest in serving on a board, helping to guide mental health services through Jefferson Center, we'll be posting that, and then they'll go through an interview process if there's more than one applicant, and then each county will approve the appointment. And that's how this one came to be. I have reached out to a couple of people who declined, but we'll just keep the outreach on that. So it'll be publicized on our website as an opening.
Okay.
So given that, I guess that's a long-winded way to tell you that that will just need to be vacant in our voting today. And are you okay with my continuing on the Jefferson Center?
Yes, that's
Yes.
fine.
All right. Next, we have the 911 Authority Board. And I have never attended. I think you've attended some of theirs and listened in.
Yes, I had listened into
Okay.
some of theirs, and I could go ahead and take that on.
Yeah,
Or did you have an?
Do you have
interest?
an interest in that?
I would, but if you want to take that on, that's fine. But
Oh, well, you can go ahead to start if
Okay.
you want to do, so we can
Yeah.
have Jeff. Commissioner Aiken.
And that's true, the way that you just said that. Any of these can be changed later in the year if workloads change or interests change or something new comes up. Next, we have the Limited Gaming Impact Funds. We are not appointing this as of today. This is done by an application. And the last time this was done was in March of 2021, so it will be coming up again. And I know that we'll put in a nomination to have it back with the Gilpin County Commissioner, if at all possible. This is decided by the 5 surrounding counties. And so we'll report back to you what happens with that. Currently, Commissioner George Marlin is the appointed representative. And this is referred to as the LGI when we talk about it in our budget. We do receive funding through the Limited Gaming Impact Funds. And during the COVID years, it was reduced significantly. But then the Joint Budget Committee raised it back up and actually funded it higher than it was pre-pandemic. And so we've been the beneficiary of 3 million total, just over 3 million for our Gilpin County agencies, including our public safety providers, Sheriff's Office. Next, we have the Gilpin Water Company, and this is it's a legal entity, and so this is a group of 12 lots, and Gilpin County is part of it. It's mid-county. It includes the businesses along Jankowski there, and so the Public Works Building, the transfer station. They use some water from the water company, and they oversee that with our facilities staff to do meter readings. They're all allowed a certain amount of water to meet the requirements for the water usage there, so no one exceeds use, and it's a very congenial group. And there is a board that is required to meet once a year, and so that typically happens in January, February. Director Combs has set up that meeting for January 21st. And so I was on that for my first 2 years, and then we had the county attorney, because he was a water law attorney, serve on that. So now I've been back on that. Do you have an interest in that, either of you,
No, you can go ahead and continue on with that.
Yeah,
for continuity? Yes. Okay.
yeah, definitely.
All right. Happy to. Next, we have the CTSI. There are county insurer for workers' compensation. And so this must be a commissioner. And so you'd serve with fellow commissioners that are members of CTSI. As a quarterly meeting, we go through claims that have been made throughout the state from CTSI members. A lot of the claims have to do with public works and law enforcement claims and the insurance that gets paid out. And so read through those, ask questions. We go through their budget, help make budget recommendations, and listen to their liability providers' information and weigh in on any suggestions to make sure that we have a strong compensation pool. And I've been serving on that. I'm happy to continue, but do either of you have an interest in that?
No, for continuity, you can go ahead and continue with that.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
All right. Next, we have Denver Regional Council of Governments. This is a board that also has some subcommittees. They do ask that it be a commissioner that serves in this role on their board.
And I'd be interested in taking that on.
All right. So everyone's agreeable to have Commissioner Berman. And this next one, it says I-70 Floyd Hill project, although isn't it the I-70 Coalition?
I believe so.
So we do have the opportunity to have a seat on these two teams. We've had County Manager Rears attending. I know there's a lot going on in the transportation world, which includes the I-70 corridor. Some counties have a commissioner that serves on the leadership team. Are either of you interested in the I-70 on the?
Susan wants to.
Well, I think mainly, isn't it just for contact purposes to do this, or have there been active meetings?
So there hasn't been any recent active meetings, but that doesn't mean that there might be something that would come up in the future. There are the two aspects, the leadership, and Commissioner Hollingsworth is absolutely correct. That's typically an elected official that's in that capacity in the technical team as they're working through the specifics. I do have to say I haven't been very active in attending, and I've been relying on the Silver Dollar Metro District, who's been very engaged to share anything relevant. If there was anything concerning, I believe it was last year or the year before, where there was concerns about closures and things. So I've been relying on other members that have been attending if there's something to share with the board or if there's something of a concern for the county.
So your role would be more a conduit of information.
That's how I've been
Right.
viewing it, because the meetings can be, when they do meet, they can be very long and
Right.
not overly productive as they're working through details.
And we partner quite a bit with Clear Creek County with their commissioners. And I know that their commissioner has been highly active on the leadership team, and he's termed out. So they'll have a new person. Commissioner Aiken expressed interest in the leadership team.
Oh, okay.
Are you
that's
favorable
fine.
on that? Okay. And then we'll keep County Manager Rears on the technical team as our information conduit. Okay. Next, we have Triad Bright Futures, and Commissioner Berman has been serving on the executive, is it a board or a committee?
Board, but now we're We are changing some of that, but I have been asked to serve on the board by, and I'd like to continue on just for continuity and to continue on with some of the projects that we're
Okay.
working on at this point.
Are you agreeable with that?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Next, we have Mountain Kids Early Learning Center. Currently, we have Janie Barker appointed, and she's our Human Services Director, appointed to be on that board. Are you interested in continuing on that? Yes. And in case you don't know, I am so excited about this, I keep telling. But we do have a signed lease between the Mountain Kids Early Learning Center and did give them $100,000 to help them start up and hire a director and get the ball rolling. And they're still awaiting to hear about their IRS nonprofit status, but they are a registered nonprofit with Colorado.
Yeah, and Triad Bright Futures, that's one of our projects here that I'm working with, is we have everything lined up for licensing and grants and all, just as soon as they can get the final okay from the IRS. So that's why I'm excited to stay on
Yeah,
to offer support.
great. Are you both agreeable with having Director Barker continue on
Yes, that's fine.
the Mountain Kids?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there's two more on here. We're almost to the bottom. Thanks for your patience. Next, we had the Mountain Rail Coalition. I've been serving on that. We did have a meeting yesterday, and they are having quarterly meetings. And so things are moving along. They did the lease with the Moffett Tunnel, which Commissioner Bruman can report more on. They talked about that last night, and it's been agreed to, but they will be finalizing it by May. But it gives access to use the rails for passenger rail, so it's really exciting because it'll help promote the project to have mountain rail that would be from Denver all the way up to Steamboat, Yampa, and Hayden. And so different sections are working on having stops in our section. And so our section along the Mountain Rail Corridor would be proposing and hoping that perhaps there'd be a stop in the Rollinsville area in the future. Not this year, of course, but it's all coming together, and we do have a little dot on the potential proposed stops for Rollinsville. They're also, Arvada's in the same situation. They don't have a current stop, but they're interested. And then the Winter Park and Granby have stops already. And so then it would continue north, and it's part of the whole Colorado initiative to have expanded rail throughout the state. So this is one corridor of that expanded rail. And I'm happy to continue on that if you're agreeable,
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Commissioner.
Yeah, that's fine.
And next we have the Moffett Tunnel lease. Is that still active?
It is still active at this point. What we have is a MOU with Union Pacific. And as you said, nothing's will be finalized. We'll be moving forward through at least May, possibly June.
All right.
So I'd like
And
to
you'd like to continue?
continue on with that.
Are you agreeable with that?
Yes.
That we continue?
And just a point of clarification, I believe paralegal Baycheck is also, so we should probably reference her on the appointment list as
her
well.
Is she as an alternate, or is she on a committee, or just a second person?
A second person.
Okay.
There's no voting. This is my understanding.
It's
No,
not one per jurisdiction, or,
right. And most the other counties and stakeholders involved do have an official as well as someone from a legal team.
okay. All right, I think that concludes that long list. Thanks for bearing with us as we go through all that.
So we do have a draft resolution, 2504, if the board wants to consider that resolution. And that resolution, if adopted, would consolidate all of the direction we've heard this morning.
Right. It would be our official appointments. It would be our committees and boards. And the other official appointments. And, okay. Many pages. All right, given that, unless you have any further discussion, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt resolution 25-004, adopting a list of official appointments for 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Adopting the appointment, the list of appointments has been approved with a vote of 3-0. Thank you. Next on our agenda, we have opportunity for public and press comment. And you are welcome to step forward and speak, whether you signed up or not. We do ask people to sign up when you're here, just so we get the spelling of your name correctly. Is there anyone signed up or anyone interested in the room? Public comment? Press comment? Anyone online?
No one online has raised their hand, Mr. Hollingsworth.
All right, so we'll close the public comment period then and move on. Next on our agenda, we have the consent agenda. Any questions on the consent agenda?
No, I have no questions or comments.
I don't have any questions.
All right, given none, I'd entertain a motion to approve that.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
And typically, Commissioner Aiken, when we do the consent agenda, we just list what's on it. If you'd like to do that.
Okay. CU Extension, fourth quarter 2024 report, Jennifer Cook, CSU Executive Director. Digital Accessibility Transition Plan, informational only, Sam Bauer, Administrative Analyst, and Melanie Bleiler, Community Engagement Officer. Number 5, new employee introductions.
That's not on the consent
What's
agenda.
that?
That's not on the consent agenda. It's just A and B.
Oh, okay. A and B, okay.
All right, thank you. So it's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 3-0. Next, on our agenda, we have new employee introductions. Shanda Johnson, our Human Resources Director, will be presenting.
Good morning and
Morning.
congratulations.
Thank you.
We have 3 teams here this morning. So if it's okay, I'm going to pass it over to them. We'll start with Public Works and then the Clerk and Recorder's Office. And then last but not least, the Sheriff's Office.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
This morning, I'd like to introduce our newest Operator 1 to the Road and Bridge Division of Public Works, Xander Taylor. He's lived in the county all of his life. So welcome aboard, Xander.
Welcome. Would you like to tell us anything about yourself?
Yeah, I lived on the edge of Gilpin County my whole life. I have family members that live here. And I'm excited to be a part of it.
Welcome.
Great, well, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
We're excited to have you.
John.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I'm here with Joe Self, my Chief Deputy, and this is Valerie Menhusen. I wanted to make sure I got her name right. She is our new motor vehicle person. She started actually part-time in November and has gone to full-time this month. She's doing a stellar job.
Wonderful.
Great, congratulations for moving up to full-time.
Would you like to tell us anything about yourself?
Not particularly. Yeah, I'm enjoying my position thus far, and I'm excited about all that I have to learn.
Right?
Great.
We're very excited to have her.
And baking is one of your hobbies.
She is doing very excellent.
Great. Yeah.
Also,
Oh, okay.
Maybe even say that.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Sure.
Morning.
Happy 2025. Here we go.
Yeah.
First up is Kathy David. She's been with the sheriff's office for a while. She started out in our kitchen in our jail. Then became for the last 3 years, she's been in a detention specialist and working inside there. And now she is just to come on to be a non-certified detention officer with hopes of being certified in the future.
Wonderful.
She comes to us from down under.
New Mexico.
Well, you know, go ahead, talk. Well,
Yeah, I'm from Australia. I moved here in 2016. My husband used to work downstairs in the treasurer's office. And I met every set of commissioners that came through the kitchen
Mhm.
and some through the control room as well. So I'm looking forward to it. Going on further, doing post, being qualified.
Great. Well,
Welcome.
congratulations.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice that your ambitions fit with opportunities with Gilpin.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
and
thanks.
next we have Colton Tapia,
Mhm.
right over here. He was born in Louisville, Texas. In 1996, he graduated from CSU with a bachelor's of criminal sociology and a minor in history.
Hmm.
He created his own ghost hunting team, and he does charity events, ghost hunting. He worked in security at Denver Performing Arts Complex for 2 years and enjoys SCA fencing, playing the saxophone, cooking, and is currently learning how to play the Japanese flute, whatever the heck they call it. Shakuhachi.
Oh,
Great.
And he's learning a second language of German.
Hmm.
So we welcome Colton to our team. Family.
great.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Would you like to say anything about yourself?
I think he covered it.
Yeah. How many ghosts have you found?
Few. Couple. You're in the right building for the ghosts.
Yeah.
Love doing my charity work and just helping people around. I'm excited to hopefully become post-certified down the line. That's my goal here, and I'm happy to be your jailer this evening.
Well, congratulations and welcome.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Congratulations to you
Awesome.
as well.
Yeah.
I just have one other announcement. Zach Adamy is our new division chief in our jail, just promoted to that position.
Feels like a long time ago.
In October. So in this first opportunity, we've had to introduce him to you.
Mhm. Yeah, congratulations.
Great, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks for stepping up. Are you enjoying it so far?
Yes.
Good. They're not too hard to work with. They're great. Good team, very good team at the sheriff's office. Yes. Thank you.
Great. Well,
Thank
thank you
you
so much.
all. Welcome.
I'll be seeing you
Yeah.
guys around, so
Mhm.
nice to see the voice behind the doorbell.
I wanted to ask, we have two public hearings, and they're posted for 9:30 or later. I'm wondering if we might move the Board of Adjustment up the agenda, if that's a preference. If not, we'll just continue on. Is Rob in the,
I believe he's still in his office. We could, if that's the board's desire, we can,
are the petitioners online or?
I do not know. So we
Okay.
will check.
Right. Yeah. Well, do you want to go ahead and do the other two? Because I know the library board has been waiting for a bit and,
Oh.
and this is going to take a little longer.
Where are we going to here?
Director, I had suggested moving this up. But I just had the suggestion that we just do the resolution adopting, appointing the library trustees, which won't take long.
Yeah.
So, okay. So just to be clear, it was suggested that we have people that are waiting to see if they are appointed as library trustees. And so we'll do that and then we'll come back to the public hearing. So is there someone to present? Director Carlson.
Morning, commissioners, and congratulations. I don't know if you wanted to introduce Harv Mastalier as our Library Board of Trustees President.
Sure.
He's here. Congratulations. So we currently have two vacancies on the board. One, their term ended and they decided not to seek reappointment, so it's for a full 5-year term that we have. And then the second, the person relocated out of county and had to resign, so we've got approximately 3 years left on their term. So basically, we've got 2 appointments to make. We advertised in newspapers, on the website, left it open. It was approximately about a month that we left it open. I had 3 applicants. The board interviewed all 3 applicants and basically like to recommend for nomination Linda Eisenhart for the full 5-year term and Constance Reed to fill out the remaining term of the 3 years. And I think we included the letters in the packet. Both members have been longtime community members doing outstanding volunteer work. We think they'd be a great addition to the library board.
And of course, we have, one is a past commissioner, county commissioner, Commissioner Eisenhart. Are there any questions about the appointments or?
No, I did read the letters and I'm familiar with both Constance and Linda and their work in the community. So I agree they'd be great additions to the Board of Trustees.
I'm on board with these guys.
Okay. All right. Given that, I entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt resolution 25-001, a resolution appointing the trustees to the Board of Trustees of Gilpin County Public Library, that being Constance Reed and Linda Eisenhart.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And so that passes 3-0. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for putting us before the hearing there.
Is Constance, did she make it to the meeting? Okay, yeah. Thank you, Mrs. Eisenhart. All right, and now we'll go to the hearing. Thank you. Thanks for that pause.
And I'll move that we recess the Board of County Commissioners and convene as the Board of Adjustment.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just trying to.
So I will open the public hearing. The time is 10:15. And first presenting, we'll have Director Gutierrez or Rachel Vigil, both.
Yeah, good morning, commissioners. We are here because the residents at 146 Dynamite Drive are seeking a variance from the zoning district specifications for the setbacks of their property. They are in the residential subdivision zoning district and are seeking to adjust their setbacks from the 30 feet in that district to a setback of 15 feet on the east and west property lines. For a little bit of background in this case, on August 8th of 2023, a notice of violation was recorded against 146 Dynamite Drive when it was brought to our office's attention that there was an unpermitted addition built onto this structure many years ago. And the current owners, Brittany and Tyler Briley, when they purchased the property in June of 2024, agreed to bring that unpermitted addition up to our building codes. So as part of their work and their work with our office in bringing the addition up to code, which the addition is currently already violating the setbacks in the zoning district. It's 21 feet from the property line where the setbacks are supposed to be 30 feet. But in order to accommodate their rebuilding of the addition essentially to build it up to code, we're asking for this variance in the setback. We're also asking for it in the east property line as well so that they are able to build a garage in the future. It's a very exceptionally narrow lot. As you can see in both the aerial shot, which is not a completely accurate representation of the lot lines, but then also in the attachment to the staff report and the exhibit in the resolution. It's a very narrow lot, and with their current setbacks, they would not be able to rebuild that addition and build it to code, which they're using to build as a bedroom for their child, and it would be very exceptionally difficult for them to build a garage. Oh yeah, we did post this and put a public notice for this hearing in the paper and have received no public comment. We also sent letters to the neighboring property owners and have received no comment from them.
All right. Are the applicants here? Did they want to add anything? Okay. We have in the hearing later, we'll have an opportunity for discussion too, but do you have any questions based on?
Not at this time. I'll wait till we get to commissioners' discussion.
All right. Thanks for all the information that you provided. It was thorough.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to present? Okay. All right. Next, we'll open the hearing to public comment. Is there anyone that would like to make public comment on this application for the adjustment? Hi, would you please come up so we can we ask that you just give your name and address for the record.
My name's Teresa Bliss, and I live at 223 South Beaver Creek Road, just south of their property. And we have no problems with them wanting to do what they're going to do.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other people for public comment? Is there anyone online?
There is one person that has raised their hand.
Are they unmuted? Are they able to speak?
I just asked them to unmute. They're unmuted now. Kathleen
Hello,
Belfort.
this is Kathleen Belfort, 392 Tchaikovsky Road. I am in favor of granting this couple whatever it is that they are asking for. I missed the first part of it, so I didn't get the logistics. But this is Rob Gutierrez, who had promised to work with these people, and the Board of County Commissioners had promised to work with these people if they were to buy this property. So I am in favor of anything that they're willing to do to come up to code for the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others?
No.
All right, I will close the public comment at 10:20. Next, we have an opportunity for discussion with the commissioners. Any questions or just comments that you have about the proposal?
No, I read through, it looks like a good thing. You guys did all the homework really good and I'd be in favor of it.
And just for clarification, so they're working to get the unpermitted addition up to code as well as preparation for adding a garage later on. We're doing it, okay.
What is the time frame for the garage construction?
The applicant said this year or next year.
The only reason I ask is generally there's a time limit associated with the variance, so I just want to make sure that was discussed.
They're aware of the time limit.
The variance, if approved, isn't perpetual. There's usually a prescribed time in the code.
You know what that is in the code?
I don't know if our current draft has that provision. But we could amend the resolution for a building permit for the garage within 2 years of.
I just wanted for discussion for the board, whatever the board would like to do. When there's a new construction and there wasn't a specific time frame. So
1 year.
Okay, 1 year.
Okay,
1 year.
so they'll have within 1 year, they'll need to start the permitting process for the garage.
Is it just the permitting? It's not the completion. It's
Yeah,
the
the
permitting.
permitting, so. If the board is willing, applicant would like in 2 years from approval of this resolution, if that's possible.
Our code is 1 year.
Yeah, so if it's just approved as it is, there's no provision in this resolution for beyond the 1 year. We didn't catch that, but. If the board's willing, we could amend the resolution to allow for 2 years.
So that would be going past our existing code. You know, I'm always cautious about making these exceptions one by one. We have something in code that we ask others to follow. If they're not able to have a permit by then, can they come back and?
Okay, so the approval criteria as stated in the code is that unless otherwise stated in the Board of Adjustment minutes, all the permits shall be valid for a period of time not to exceed 1 year. So you can state in the minutes, I believe, that it can be valid for more than that period of time, but it's just, unless it is stated, it is just 1 year.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah. And you can read that on, I think, page 3 of the staff report.
Always learning something new in these processes. Are the two of you agreeable to that, to allow a 2 year?
I think 2 years is reasonable for give them that time to start the permit process.
Are you agreeable to that, Commissioner?
Yeah, as long as it's all, legal.
As
As far as changing the code or just amending the code or just extending, get variance with the code.
It sounds like that Rachel just explained that we have the flexibility as long as we do it now as part of the Board of Adjustment decision.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that we do it in written. So are you okay with 2 years?
Yeah, I'm okay with 2 years.
That sounds good.
See, yeah, and I think this is great because this will get a problem that we've had for a few years taken care of once everything's brought up to code and that. So I'm definitely willing to work with them and see that a lot of work's been done, so that's good.
This is the situation that's come up periodically, correct? Where there was a
Yeah.
attempt to sell and there was the
Yeah.
unpermitted addition. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned the owner
Yeah.
that was selling,
Was not the one that made the addition.
right, so he bought it and he was unaware that that addition, and then
Right.
through him selling the property,
Right.
a potential buyer found it, and then that's how we.
Right.
And it has come out of public comments in general board meetings before.
Right.
Yes, because it seemed like the purchaser, the current owner was, unaware and almost felt kind of penalized that they were being held to that. So thanks for working on it. So it seems like that's a good resolution all around. Property sold, new buyers, they're happy, they want to make it their own. And they just need this little bit of variance. Okay. Any other discussion? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move that we approve resolution BOA 25-1, approving a variance for 146 Dynamite Drive, Blackhawk.
Do I have a
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, the resolution passes 3-0. Any other discussion before I close the hearing?
No. As amended, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, commissioners.
All right, given that, this hearing is closed at 10:27. Thanks for your work. Good luck. Yes. We go back up the agenda. Go to resolution 25-003. This is the memorandum of understanding with Colorado Department of Early Childhood for the Child Care Assistance Program. Presenting is Jeannie Barker.
Good morning, commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
So this resolution is to extend the current memorandum of understanding that we have with the state for our Colorado Child Care Assistance Program, which is run by the state but administered by us here in the county. And they basically are looking to extend the memorandum. It was supposed to expire in June of this year. They want to extend it to June of next year. So it would go from January until June of next year.
Are there any questions or comments? Commissioners?
No, because the contract, everything's the same as it was prior.
Yeah, I have no questions.
If there's no discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the resolution 25-003, amending the approving the resolution to sign the MOU agreement to continue this agreement.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Thanks for your staff's work on that too. Yeah. Next, we have Director John Cohn. This is the 2025 Highway Users Tax Fund application. Do we need a motion on this? This is just for a signature. It's more informational plus a signature.
Really, there should be resolution associated with it. We can just, but a verbal is fine, given there isn't a resolution in the packet.
Okay.
Good morning,
Hello.
Commissioners. Congratulations, Commissioner Hollingsworth, Commissioner Akins.
Thank you.
We come before you to have the HUTF Highway Users Transportation Fund for your signatures again this year. This fund is collected throughout the 22 cent per gallon fuel sales tax that is attached to every gallon of fuel that all of the citizens of Colorado and visitors purchase. The fund is fluid depending on how many gallons of fuel are sold in the state. So far this year in 2024, we have received $677,927 for road maintenance within Gilpin County. We still have December payment that we have not gotten yet. So the 24 budget is not closed out yet. We're hoping that, that this next year, more people get out and hit the highways and visit our beautiful mountains up here and come through Golden Gate. So we even get more funding through that avenue. This is Andrew Decker. He is our new county right-of-way specialist and sign specialist. And he will be presenting the document, the official document for your signatures, and any questions you have, he should be able to answer.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome.
Congratulations. So yeah, like John said, we have a signature sheet for complete our application to the Colorado Department of Transportation for our share of the Highway Users Tax Fund. So this sheet needs to be signed by all the commissioners.
Okay.
And then we need to send it in with the rest of our application.
All right. Do you have any questions, commissioners?
No.
About the HUTF? No.
Our application's complete, pending the signatures. It's due by February 3rd, no later. And there have not been any changes this year from last.
Okay. Oh, okay. Great. And there's a proportional pay-in for EVs somehow, since they don't purchase gas.
We have an expert at the end of the table I will defer to.
The answer is yes, but the formula is very complex. So it's not just fuel, there's also a portion for EV. EV owners pay an additional fee of registration, and a portion of that goes into this same fund.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I believe as we get more EVs, they're also looking at legislation to some way tax during the charging to kind of supplement this HUTF as
Right.
well. So, yeah.
Okay. We need all the little dimes trickling in, don't we?
As I was told many, many years ago, you watch your nickels and pennies and the dollars will take care of themselves. Very wise words.
Good advice.
Hopeful thinking. Okay, great. How much does it cost the county to maintain our roads? Do you know?
Yeah, the budget with salaries and benefits, the budget that was approved for 2025 is right at $3.5 million.
So this contributes toward it, but hardly covers it.
Yes, it contributes towards it.
I think sometimes the public has questions about roads from time to time, right? Especially after weather incidents. But I think it's good to remind the public how hard you all work and that you get a lot done. And there is a cost to do that. So it's recommended, even though we don't have a resolution, that we do vote on approving this. So I would entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt the 2025 Highway Users Tax Fund application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. And so, are you going to be here a second? We'll sign these.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you enjoying your job?
I am. It's different and a lot more going on than I thought. And it's kind of a different thing comes at you every day. I like that.
Right. When did you move into that position?
Well, it was kind of I was lucky enough to get quite a bit of training because my predecessor did get hurt and was back on light duty. So we worked together from April till he till he resigned in October, and then I got the position in November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was Craig.
That was Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's with the county a long time.
He
as
was
well.
very.
Yeah. Well, welcome. I'm glad that you decided to take that on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations. It's always nice to be able to promote people from within.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Just a sidebar, not to do with the HUTF, but please, all of Gilpin County, heed the cold weather warnings that are coming this weekend.
Mm.
It could be very severe, so everybody hunker down and stay warm.
That's a time you don't want them out on the roads enjoying our beautiful county.
Turn your faucets.
No, we don't want anyone out and about that absolutely doesn't have to be, because they're taking this very seriously, how cold it's going to get this coming weekend and the first part of next week. So that's just my public service announcement.
That's a good one. Thank you. Thank you. Next on our agenda, we have resolution 25-002. This is authorizing the execution of agreement for consulting services with R. Dortberg Associates for the county assessor. And there she is. Hello.
Commissioners.
Morning.
This is our annual agreement with our Dortberg Associates. As a reminder, Rich Dortberg is recognized as an expert in casino appraisal and holds the prestigious MAI designation. There's only a few people in the state of Colorado that have that. He has significant expertise in casinos, and we could not do commercial appraisal without him. So I'm asking you to authorize this annual agreement with him.
He does have a wealth of knowledge in the casino industry is a tricky beast to keep.
Yeah, and not just here,
current
he
with.
does Teller County, he does casinos in Kansas and also North Carolina. So he's all over the country. And he's a big asset to the assessor's office.
I know he's been, he was like a subject matter expert with some legislation a couple years ago. Yeah,
He's
so that was helpful.
extremely knowledgeable.
Great. Any questions? Discussion?
No, nothing else.
So he works, in the different parts, different states and stuff too, and.
He does, so he does the casinos in our county, Teller County, and then he
Okay.
works across the country.
Yeah, so does he have enough time for us?
Oh, yeah, he does.
Okay.
And
So
we've already talked to him this year. We're number one in position.
that's good. Okay. Yeah.
At least that's what he told us.
We'll take his word.
Yeah.
You're the closest to his house, right?
Yes.
So it's easy for him to get here.
You have him on speed dial.
He lives in Gilpin County?
No, he actually lives in Boulder County.
Boulder, yeah, it's
I
close.
know where he lives.
That makes sense. All right. I don't have any questions. I'm glad that he continues on, and I know that you sing his praises every time you bring this to us, and really appreciate his work and his expertise.
Absolutely, we do.
Yeah. With that, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve the contract renewal by the board. For Richard Jortberg as the assessor's assistant, or,
Commercial appraisal.
commercial appraiser, yes.
I'll second.
Okay. I just want to add, for Commissioner Aiken's, knowledge, usually when we do these, we say the resolution and then,
Okay.
mention this part in it. If you just want to
Let's
add
do
that in.
again. Authorizes the county manager to execute the agreement for consulting services with Richard Yorkberg Associates with LLC with consultation by the county attorney on behalf of the Gilpin County Board of County Commissioners with an annual amount not to exceed $51,420. Resolution 25002.
I assume.
And then I'll resecond.
Second. No, second, the second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
See what that was.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. That passes 3-0. You are here. Next on our agenda, we have two liquor license renewals.
So I'll move that we recess the Board of County Commissioners and convene as a local liquor licensing authority.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good morning, Commissioners. Before we jump into the liquor licensing, I just wanted to say that while I had my head buried in 4 elections in the last year, Sharon has been instrumental in keeping our liquor license flowing, so to speak. We have some applicants that are way on top of things and get us our paperwork ahead of time, such as Roy's Last Shot, which we're going to be hearing today. But not everyone is so on top of it, but Sharon has poked and prodded and processed all the paperwork.
Crack the whip.
That's good.
Great.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Congratulations, Commissioner Hollingsworth and Commissioner Aiken.
Thank you.
Nice to see you sitting there. Our first application, let's go chronologically, is Z-Stop Gas Station down at the bottom of 119 near 6th Avenue. It is a retail gas station with some alcohol sales inside. Had a little trouble. They kind of got their stuff in late and had to go through their contract with them about their possession of the building. They do have possession of the building, but it wasn't immediately obvious till we hashed it all out. The whole application is in order. They passed the sheriff's office background check. And I have no problems with it at all. I recommend approval of the renewal application.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
I'm just kind of confused. I was looking at the application and the address is listed 11351 Colorado 119 Golden, Colorado. Is that in?
It is addressed out of Golden.
So, okay, but that's not physically because we're real near the line there.
There are actually a lot of addresses here in the county that have a golden address.
Yeah, okay.
Anything close to the Jefferson County, Gilpin County line. Most of those have an 80403, Golden
Oh, okay.
zip code.
They do it by the post office districts. That's why there's a lot of Gilpin County that has Blackhawk addresses, even though they're Gilpin County. Any other questions or comments?
No, it seems like they have everything.
All right. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I move that we approve the liquor license renewal for Z-Stop Gas Station.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 3-0.
Thank you.
All right.
Our next one is the Last Shot up in Mid-County. That's a different type of license. It's hotel and tavern because of their restaurant. These are probably our stellar license holders in the county. They're always ahead of time. They're on top of everything, very close watch on everything in their operation. Of course, the background check came back sparkling, and the application is wonderful. No problems whatsoever, so I recommend approval of this annual renewal application.
Are there any questions or comments on this application?
No, I have no comments or questions.
Commissioner, anything?
No.
All right. Okay. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve this application. Would you like to make that one, Commissioner?
Recommend we approve the renewal application for Last Shot at 17268 Highway 119.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That also passes 3-0. Anything else you want to add while you're here?
No, thank you very much for.
Thanks for your good work,
Thank you.
Sharon.
Yeah. Sharon.
We do have some documents that require your signatures. If we,
Okay.
could we take care of that now quickly?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can look at those. These are the local licenses that they're required to post on the wall. We have one, if you might remember the last time we met, we corrected a license for Toss Pizza, and we also expanded the licensed area outdoors. Those have been approved by the state. Commissioner Broom, you were the chair at that time. If I could have you sign them.
That buttons those up for another year then, right?
Yep.
Okay. Anything else while we're sitting here?
Very much appreciate your time.
Sure, thank you for taking care of those. Thanks for nudging, Sharon. Okay. The last one?
Nope,
Okay.
but you're getting closer.
I'll do this while we're sitting as the local liquor licensing authority.
When you submit their paperwork late, it puts the onus on us, the burden on us to really get moving on it. But I'll have to come back to you with this one because didn't print well. I don't want you to sign this. I think we better reprint it so it's dark instead of faint.
Okay. All right.
That's all for us.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn as.
Okay, I move that we adjourn as the local liquor licensing authority and reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, we are now reconvened as the Board of County Commissioners. Next on our agenda, we have Resolution 25-005. This is authorizing the submittal of a grant application. This is for the Youth Mental Health and Wellbeing Challenge Grant.
Good morning, Commissioners. I believe Director Chisholm is also with us online
Okay.
to help present this item.
Would you all three like to introduce yourselves for the listeners?
I'm Jamie Boyle, the Grants Manager.
Jacob Rippey, Youth Program Supervisor.
Bretton Barrett, Teen Coordinator.
Welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners. Gabrielle Chisholm, Director of Parks and Rec. Sorry I can't be there in person today.
Go ahead, we're listening.
I'll take it away with just sort of an introduction and overview of the grant program. So currently, the youth programming is funded through the Substance Abuse Block Grant through CDPHE. That funding is set to end mid-2026. In just sort of standard upcoming grant research, we identified a grant program that is being put out through the Attorney General's office that aligns really, really closely with what the current program does and what the SABG grant hopes to accomplish. So they really are very similar. And if we went for this youth mental health challenge grant, we're nicknaming it the challenge grant because it's a mouthful. So if we went for this challenge grant, we would be able to really continue the existing programming after the end of that SABG grant for an additional 2 years after that point. So with the timing, there would be an overlap of 1 year, which we've addressed in sort of the budget that we're requesting. So we would be requesting a much lower budget for the first year and then full funding for the following 2 years. It is a no match grant. And I suppose the only real complication with it is that it requires the application to be submitted in collaboration with a school district. Fortunately, the Gilpin County School District has already been partnering with Parks and Recreation on this initiative for years. And they, when presented with the idea, agreed that it would be good to sort of formalize it with a memorandum of understanding, which is a requirement of the grant. On our end, we went ahead and drafted the MOU. We had legal review it. That was Jack who reviewed it. He said he had no concerns with it. Because of the timing of the meetings, we did go ahead and present a draft of the MOU to the school board at their last meeting. We notified them, of course, that it hadn't been reviewed yet by the BOCC, and so it was still subject to review and approval or not. And so they went ahead and wanted to sign it because their legal team was happy with it. So that's where we're at. And I'm happy to answer any questions or let Jake speak if he has anything he'd like to add.
Just to clarify on the MOU, we don't have to have a finalized signed version to submit the grant application. So it can be in draft form. You guys don't need to sign it today or anything. And the application is due tomorrow. I don't mention that.
It is.
Yeah.
There was a very quick
It's
turnaround
back.
on this, so.
Yeah.
But there is still time to review the MOU and make changes if you want and throw it back and forth between the school.
So, do you have any questions or comments, the two of you?
I don't.
Well, my only question would be, I know we have RE1. Will we also be looping in the BVSD as well, since we do serve students from that school district?
I do intend to start a conversation with them, actually, yeah. We just haven't had time to do that yet since the application. is due
Right,
so
with the
soon.
timing,
Yeah.
but yeah, as long as we make sure, because I know there is a lot of summer programming that's involved as well, and that's always a benefit to
Yes,
to all students.
definitely.
But the children any children can attend this, regardless of school district they attend. It's
Yes,
for Gilpin residents primarily, but not exclusively.
yes.
Okay. And is there going to be any overlap in time period then between the grants? Because I know there's a question whether the SABG will continue or not, and no one's heard.
Yes, there's an overlap of 1 year.
Okay.
And
Full year.
they actually did have a conversation with the grantor, I think yesterday, about this. I'd love for you to tell them how that went.
Yeah, it was, they didn't have any news, basically. They don't know what the next grant cycle is going to look like yet. There were a lot of changes because they moved under a different state department. But either way, they weren't concerned about the duplicate funding or anything like that, since we would just adjust our budget accordingly. We probably would still go for the same SABG grant again if we're still eligible for the next cycle. And, you know, if we're awarded that again, we'll decide what we need to do between the two grants and the budgets at that time.
What we don't want to do is be in a position where the current funding is expiring and we have a limited amount of time to try to apply for only one potential option. And then put the program at risk of not securing funding and having to be reduced or shut down.
So this won't preclude us from applying again for the SABG.
Not at all. In
Oh,
fact,
great.
it
Okay.
sounded like they were, like the program team from SABG was very supportive of this. As long as we are, being clear about what our budget is and.
They mentioned they have other grantees that are applying for the same grant as well. So.
Well, so we could potentially, if we qualify for both, have even more funding for our residents.
Correct.
Oh, okay, good. And just to clarify, my question as far as BVSD is, those students are Gilpin County residents. They're just in a different school district. But just so that, we have flyers and posters and announcements in those schools as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have a sprinkling of students in the county that go out of county and go to neither of the school districts that serve Gilpin County directly since Colorado's open enrollment. Yeah. All right. So open to all, no match. Okay to overlap.
That's correct.
Owns the
I
program.
know, it's perfect.
It sounds too good to be true.
I know.
Right. Can you give us an update, like how many are participating in the Eagle?
Yeah, so I currently have 44 registered teens in the program and an average of about 8 per month. Of course, I do need to update those quarterly numbers to Gabrielle, but if I were to put a number to it, it would be an average about 8 teens per day.
8 teens per day.
And it does seem, I know through information we've seen that there are quite a few field trips and a lot of activities. So that's wonderful. Thank you.
I do try to implement 2 field trips, possibly 3 field trips per month. And of course, I've been establishing relationships with Teens Inc. in Netherlands and going to their facility once a month as a field trip and looking towards other future possibilities. The biggest field trip that I have coming up is talking to Copper Mountain Resorts to have a career day for teens to check out operations and to look at the resort from kind of behind the scenes.
I just want to give kudos to them for doing that with building all these relationships. I know this isn't their purpose in doing that, but demonstrating, broad community collaboration is a really, really strong selling point when we're applying for this and other grants in the future. It just shows that they're really trying to broaden their impact and their reach to get to all the youth in the area. Great job.
Yeah, may I say something too?
Sure.
Just with the substance abuse block grant, it really does try to prevent substance abuse or any types of substance, but it actually doesn't call out tobacco or vaping necessarily. So this new grant actually is more specified towards that. It's through the Jewel settlement that happened. So we can be able to do different types of programming with the same amount of kids or more kids, outreach to more kids actually, but be doing different targeted areas and different types of programming. So yeah, anyways, I just wanted to mention that it could be 2 separate grants at the same time, but we're doing different types of work.
And I don't know if I would say that it's not the intention, because it seems like the intention of these programs is engagement, peer support, life skills, coping mechanisms. I mean, it seems like it's to build stronger youth overall, however that is done. So
Exactly.
I do see it fitting in.
Sorry, I meant it
That's
wasn't
okay.
like to get grants.
That's your part.
Yeah, and the prevention aspect's important too, because it seems like, I know a lot of the other money that we're chasing is dealing with the aftermath, which is more difficult, and the prevention's great. And the field trips seem to have a broad, different interests are covered in everything, so that's great too. So yeah, I think you're doing well with the program, and the monies are all being well spent, so thank you.
Thank you.
And just to remind us, your age breakdowns. So what are the ages you serve and you serve?
Yeah, so the childcare that we run is ages 5 through 12. Typically, we can take older kids, but then usually 11 or 12-year-olds will transition into the teen program, and that's up through 18 years old.
Yeah, great. My sense is that community-wide, the programs for youth are really well supported. They are, kind of a modern day necessity for having not just places for the children to be, but also to all the advantages you've already described for the youth up here, especially in a sort of rural area that's not as connected. I was at a meeting on Friday at Teens, and I must say that they were mentioning things they were aspiring to, which are things that you are already doing. And there was a little bit of crowd envy, I think, that Gilpin was doing these things already. But I'm glad that you partner to benefit the kids. Yeah. Anything else? Or... All right, if not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt resolution 25-005, authorizing the submittal of a grant application to the Colorado Office of the Attorney General and Department of Law for Youth Mental Health and Wellbeing Challenge Grant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you all so much. Appreciate your support. We'll let you know when we know if we're awarded.